Hello there and welcome back to the Fracking farmhouse where Oscar is with me, and I'm thinking there was a very momentous day last week. Was Friday the 20th of September and it was week 57 of the school strikes, and they asked the adults to come out and join them on strike, and it was a global phenomenon. There were 4 million people went on strike and protested around the globe, and the coverage on the news that night, finally the BBC put on a good 20-25 minutes coverage talking to experts, no lying deniers taking the other side, and we just, I think the penny is dropping globally. And when you combine that with the earthquakes in Preston New Road, fracking industry in this country is dead. It's not going to go anywhere. They're not going to admit it yet to their shareholders, but rumour has it INEOS are looking at their American options. So it was a bit of a celebratory feel. And I went to the march in Chesterfield, and in 2015 we'd had a climate march in Chesterfield, and we got about 100 people, and this time we had about 500, and it was a nice size rally, and they asked me to speak, and so I resurrected this poem. And it just made me think how far we've come in 3 years. Because 3 years ago, we were looking down the barrel, we were a small village. INEOS had just announced they were going to come in and drill in our village, only exploratory, but then they'd frack and they'd set up something that could be there for 20 years, trucks in, trucks out, gas leaking, water pollution, noise pollution. We were staring down the barrel because we had a big company doing it and we had the government backing them all the way. And we got organised, and we fought them, and we're still sitting pretty. They're nowhere. They've not so much as built a fence. They occasionally put up signs that say, "You're not allowed to protest, we've got an injunction," but they don't last long. And so I revisited this poem, which I wrote for a Burns Day anti-fracking thing a couple of years ago. But I've altered the end of it because it's not about fracking now. Now we're taking on the whole fossil fuel industry, and now we've got the numbers to do it. So here it is, an ode to Marsh Lane 2019. It started 3 years ago. It started early. I got a text message from David Burley. The news, it said, was really drastic. They'd frack our village so they could make plastic. Now we were frightened. We were quite scared. We're only a village, we weren't prepared. So we went to the pub, and though it weren't pretty, from out of the chaos we formed a committee. We got a brand, it said, "No fracking way," which lasted longer than Theresa May. We learnt about rules and planning and stuff. These were big bastards, the fight would be tough. And we organised meetings, there's so much to do. We met lots of good people, people like you. And as we marched and we wrote and we talked and we shouted, their wealth and power began to be doubted. Now INEOS, Shell, BP, Exxon, Total, Quadrilla and all of that crew are learning something we already knew. That we won't be obedient and not make a fuss. This is our planet, it belongs to us. And wherever they plunder, wherever they drill, we will stop them. We won't let them kill our dreams of a world not increasingly hot. There isn't to be one, it's all that we've got. To those thieves and liars that sit in high places, it's us, the people, who'll be in your faces. You'll not burn our forests or melt our last iceberg, because we're rebelling and we've got Greta Thunberg. So, thank you very much. That's my little bit of poetry. Thanks for watching the Fracking Farmhouse.